How's it going, everyone? How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, aka the only Hermit, and today we're getting into something a little bit different. And okay. Kind of, I mentioned this in an episode of the HeartGold Nuzlocke, but I'm actually gonna follow through with it. So today we are going over my tier list for every single main series Pokemon game. I haven't played all the side games, so I wouldn't be able to judge all of them, but I have played all the main series, or at least one version of each of the games. And let me just preface all this. I know people still aren't going to listen, but of course, this is my opinion. This is not an objective tier list. I'm not saying this game is better than this game. This game is the greatest ever. I'm not saying that. It's just my opinion based off my experiences, based off when I first played through these games and my experiences after that. Okay, that is okay. Look at me. I know some of you still aren't gonna listen, but it's my opinion. Okay, relax. Okay, now real quick, I want you guys to go to the description, check out my Twitter and Instagram, both at HermitLonely_. Specifically, I want you guys to send me your tier list, preferably actually on Twitter at HermitLonely_. Send me your tier list on Twitter so I can judge you and tell you your opinion is bad, because I know you're gonna tell me the same thing. Okay, I can't handle that criticism without dishing it out. But beside that, please leave a like on the video and hit that big red subscribe button. Also, let me real quickly describe my tiers, how I would define them. D is wouldn't really want to play again, pretty bad experience first time around, and just would prefer not to pick up these games again. C is a little better than D. C is pretty average, decent, very okay replayability, nothing crazy. Maybe would play again, would be more willing to play than D. And then you have B, which is good. So not necessarily, maybe not solid, just good. Does the job, does what it has to do. Fun experience, especially the first time around. Maybe not so much on the next playthroughs, but it was a fun experience. And now A is pretty good. It's fun, unique, maybe not necessarily unique, maybe that's not the best word to use, but fun, great experience, and would want to regularly replay, would be willing to regularly replay these games. And S is just, great games, great solid games where you would definitely want to replay them all the time, anytime you get a chance. And first time experience was extremely fun, and subsequent experiences with it was fun as well. It's just always fun whenever you pick it up. That's just how I would define the tiers, and I'm stalling, so let's get right into it. Red and blue. Yeah. No. Let me preface this also by saying I did not start playing until Gen 3, specifically FireRed, LeafGreen, and then I went back to the other Gen 3 games, but maybe that's a big reason here. Do with that what you will. I did not have a fun experience with these games. They weren't fun for me. I ran into some of the bugs that are very annoying, and I just played it and finished it for the sake of saying I played the original games. That's it. And I did not enjoy my experience. I can't say, when I initially finished it, I did say I was like, I'm never going back to these games. But because I started a YouTube channel, I'm a little more willing, and maybe that'll change down the line. Maybe we'll make this an annual thing. Maybe the more playthroughs I do, my opinions will change. But for now, Red and Blue, my initial experience was not fun. I'm a little more open to playing it again now, but not anytime soon. I did not enjoy my experience with those games, and yeah, staying in D, very easy decision for me. But moving on to Pokemon Yellow, better. Would be more willing to play Yellow over Red and Blue for sure. Subtle differences. The Pokemon walking behind you, in my opinion, is a bit overrated. It's cool and all, but it's not necessary for me to enjoy a game. But it was cool nonetheless. But not much better than Red and Blue. C minus is, it's teetering on D, but it's C minus for me. It's okay, it's good, decent. Would be more willing to play over Red and Blue. Definitely would be more willing to play that one. Now moving on to Gold and Silver, Generation 2. Man, oh man, Generation 2, Gold and Silver. Gold and Silver would definitely be more willing to play them than Yellow. So but I'd still put them in C. It's an okay experience. It feels a lot like Red and Blue, and I just gave you my opinion on Red and Blue, so naturally I had a little distaste when I went back and played these ones, but not a bad experience. It's a decent experience. It's okay. Didn't have a ton of fun with these games, but again, C's kind of like, it was cool when I played it. Decent, did the job. It was okay. It was good. It was okay. Not really good. It was just okay. But Crystal, on the other hand, I actually enjoyed. Compared of all the games on the Game Boy Color, on the original Game Boy, Crystal's probably is my favorite. It's my favorite. The changes from Gold and Silver aren't like super stark, but there's enough changes to warrant me liking it more. You know what I mean? They're the first game where you can play as a girl, so I mean that's already revolutionary in and of itself. And then the color, Game Boy Color, these sort of vibrant changes to the graphics, some story beat changes. Suicune, I love Suicune. I would much rather play Crystal over any of the games that are below it right now. And I would say it was enough of an experience to me to want to play it again. The only one I would say on the Game Boy Color original Game Boy that I'd be willing to regularly play again. Now moving on to Generation 3. This is where it gets fun. Ruby and Sapphire. Okay. I had an okay experience with those games. They're not great. They're not bad. They're okay. They're decent. You play them through. They're fun. They're fun to an extent. And especially when you have Emerald on the horizon, Ruby and Sapphire go lower for me. If Emerald did not exist, I might throw them in B. Maybe, but I think because Emerald exists, they're down there, and naturally, I'm gonna put Emerald in A. I think Emerald took Ruby and Sapphire, made it better. That's kind of the MO for Pokemon, what it's been recently up until Gen 8 with Sword and Shield when they finally decided to do DLCs. Emerald's just so much better than Ruby and Sapphire. I'd be more willing to play Emerald over Ruby and Sapphire any day of the week, any day. Especially with the Battle Frontier. I know a lot of people say it's overhyped, but I enjoy the Battle Frontier. I really do. The first time I got there, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, it's a bunch of different challenges and things you can do. It's fun, unique, very different. No game has had the Battle Frontier like that again, and that's why I think people like Emerald. A lot of it is the post game, and it's very fun. It's a fun game overall, and I do enjoy it. Now, moving on to FireRed and LeafGreen. Nostalgia, the fact that they were my first game is telling me put it in S. It's telling me, I'm trying to resist, it's telling me put it in S, but I'm gonna put it as a very high A. I acknowledge that it is a simple game. It is a remake. It is a simple game, and it's not overly. It doesn't really throw itself out there too much. I mean, the Sevi Islands are really cool. There's not a ton to do on them, but they are cool, nice little additions to the post game. But overall, they are still pretty simple games. However, they were my first. I love these games. I love these games. I play these games all the time. Like all the time. I play these games too many times, honestly, and I still have fun with them. So if that doesn't warrant at least an A, I don't know what does. I have a close relationship with these games. I love these games. They're so much fun, and I really love FireRed, LeafGreen. But moving on to Generation 4. This is where it gets a little Diamond and Pearl. I'd be really not. I did not have a good experience with Diamond and Pearl. Very slow games. I mean, very slow games. How they are slower than every single Game Boy game on this list so far, I do not know. I don't know what they were thinking. This game is so unbearable to play. I hated it. I hated playing it. If you don't have fast forward, if you're not playing on an emulator, or if you're just not fast forwarding on an emulator, I don't know how you do it. You must have some incredible patience. I cannot. Like, at least the other games have some excuses, but now you're being bumped up to the DS and better hardware, and yet it runs slower than a lot of these games. It's crazy with Diamond and Pearl, and honestly, teetering on D. They are teetering on D. I'm tempted to put them in D because I would not want to go back and play them, especially when Platinum exists. I would not. If Platinum did not exist, then they would stay in C, but because Platinum exists, I'm very tempted to put them in D. I'm gonna leave them as C-. They're gonna be a C-, a very close D for me. like a 61%, or what's a C? 71% C, like 70% C. Like they are right teetering on D. Like I'm it's close. But I'm gonna leave them on C- for now. With Platinum though, I got to play Diamond. I got to play FireRed, LeafGreen when it came out, and then went back to Emerald and all these ones. Ruby and Sapphire, and then I got to play Diamond, but then Platinum came out. So maybe nostalgia is fueling this a bit, and maybe won't fuel the next ones as much, but Platinum for me is great. I love playing Platinum. I can play it all the time, I play it anytime. So fun, it's a good amount of challenge, it's unique. Sinna's a very good looking region. It improves on Diamond and Pearl, and the speed aspect, a lot of the things. It's not too much faster, but it's fast enough. It's a little more bearable than playing Diamond and Pearl. Giratina is definitely, I would say, top 5 my favorite legendaries, period. I love Giratina. I love the Distortion world, even though it's so small, such a small part of the story. Apparently, they couldn't really go more deeper into the Distortion world or whatever, but I love Platinum. Really enjoyed my experience with it. It was a good amount of challenge. It was like the biggest challenge I had faced in my like 7 or 8-year-old mind and life at that time. I loved Platinum and I still love it to this day. Now, probably the biggest controversial thing on here, my opinion on HeartGold, SoulSilver. So let me preface this by saying, like I said, I got to get FireRed, LeafGreen when it came out. I got to get Diamond. I got to get Platinum. And then Platinum. When HeartGold, SoulSilver came out, I actually couldn't get them, and then I had to skip, and I ended up able to get Black and White, but I ended up skipping HeartGold, SoulSilver, couldn't get those. So maybe, you know what, maybe if I had played them at the time, my opinion on HeartGold, SoulSilver would be different. But the thing is, I spent the 8-9 years or whatever it's been since HeartGold, SoulSilver came out hearing, or up until the point I played, hearing HeartGold, SoulSilver are the best Pokemon games. These games are the epitome of Pokemon. If you want Pokemon, if you want that feel, if you want to know what Pokemon really is, HeartGold, SoulSilver are the games. And I could not disagree more. I don't think so. I think they're good. They do the job. I can replay them. I am replaying through them right now. Check out the Let's Play on the channel. But I would not put them even close to the A tier. No, the closest they would get is A-, but for me, I'm going with a B+. They're good. Do I think they're the best? No, I don't. Controversial? Sure, why not? I don't think they're the best games. I think it's a lot of nostalgia fueled, and the fact that you can go back to Kanto, which is cool and all, but it's already, by that point, we had already done it like 3 times, going back to Kanto or something like that, so I wasn't like all overhyped. And you would think because I love FireRed, LeafGreen, I would love that part of the game, but honestly, it's very bare bones. It doesn't really feel like Kanto. It just kind of feels like you go gym to gym to gym to gym to gym. It's like a speed run of a regular Pokemon game. And that's not a bad thing. No other game has done that since then, to be fair, and I'll give it that. But I really did not have a bad experience with HeartGold, SoulSilver when I first played it. By the way, I only first played it like a 1.5 years ago. But I also didn't really enjoy it all that much to the level of the games that are above it. I thought it was good, and that was that. So yeah, that's ooh, I'm gonna hear it for that one. But moving on to Generation 5, let's quickly move on from that. Ooh, we start with Black and White. Black and White, story-wise, are probably one of the more solid games in the series, but other than that, I mean, I love Unova. I love the New York feel. I love the whole aesthetic and everything, the layout. It's pretty linear, to be fair, but I think Black and White just get completely overshadowed by the sequels, and very close to B, but I think I would honestly put them in C. C+, very close to B, very close to B. I think I would leave them in C+. Actually, nah, let's put them B for now. Maybe I'll change it down to C later on, depending on what else we put in B. But they're like I said, story-wise, solid, and that's one of the reasons why I would be willing to replay them. But other than that, I mean, they're not the most entertaining games, in my opinion. I didn't have the best time when I was playing them, but still solid nonetheless. Still decent games nonetheless. But their sequels, whew, yeah. Yeah, I love Black and White 2. I love Black and White 2. Compared to Black and White, it is a whole different experience. It despite being in the same region, it still manages to feel like weirdly a whole different game. Like, it's just a whole different experience. They add so many things. The story is better, in my opinion, in Black and White 2. Although I liked N, I liked his story. I don't know. Just Black and White 2 just improves on Black and White so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've played, well, specifically White 2 a lot. I've played it a number of times. I have 2 copies. Hold on. For no real reason, I have 2 copies of White 2. Don't know why. But well, one of them has a finished copy. The other one I restarted. I love those games. I love Black and White 2. They're so much fun. Because I played White 2 a bunch of times, when we get there, we are going to play Black 2. But I love these games. I love these games so much. I could replay them anytime, all the time, anytime. Now moving on to probably the second most controversial batch of games in this tier list here of all these games, X and Y. And I feel like they get a lot of hate. A lot of undeserved hate, but also some of it, you know what, kind of had it coming because some of the decisions they made. The art style, first of all, right off the bat, kind of weirded me out. I was like, I didn't really like the chibi art style, the big head, big eyes, little body. No, didn't really do it for me. I do like the France aesthetic of the region. It is a pretty region. It is a good region to look at. Story's not great. The legendaries are pretty cool. I like the legendaries. I do really like the legendaries. Like I said, story's not great. General experience is not great because it's really easy. But my first experience with them, I did have a pretty enjoyable time. I did enjoy my time with X and Y when I played them. First run through, replayability is not really there. Maybe my opinion will change when we get to X and Y, but when I replay it through a randomizer, but I still wouldn't put them in C. Purely because only one reason, because they introduced Mega Evolutions, and I love Mega Evolutions. I wish they would bring them back. They're the best side gimmick that Pokemon's put out of the 3, out of Megas, out of Z moves, out of Dynamax, Gigantamax. Mega Evolutions are the best. Don't even try to argue with me over that. I will not change my opinion. Mega Evolutions were the best, and they just, I purely because of Mega Evolutions, they're in B. If not, they would have been in high C, but because of Mega Evolutions, B for sure. Mostly because of replayability. That's one of my biggest issues with X and Y, is the replayability aspect. It's so difficult to replay those games. I've tried, trust me, I've tried to replay those games multiple times. I just cannot bring myself to get past like the second gym. So replayability would put them a lot lower, but purely because they have Mega Evolutions and they introduced Mega Evolutions, they can stay in B. Now, a bit, maybe a controversial pick here. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire belong in D. They're trash games. They're awful remakes. They just don't do the job. They're awful. Compare them to Ruby and Sapphire. They don't even compare. Horrible graphics. No, of course not. I'm putting them up. I'm putting them in A, actually. I think Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are great remakes. They add enough to create a different experience in a region we've already been to twice. We've already revisited. This would have been the second time we revisited it. You know, we revisited in Emerald, and now we're coming back in Oras, and it felt different. It felt unique, and I loved playing through those games again. I love the Eon Flute, flying around Latios. I love going after all the legendaries and all that stuff. The secret bases were fun, great for grinding. But most importantly, and above all else in that game, the main reason why I'm putting them in A, the shiny hunting. I loved shiny hunting in that game. So much fun. After X and Y, like I mentioned, because of the lack of replayability, I was a bit down on Pokemon, but then I started shiny hunting in Oras. So they came out and I started shiny hunting, dex nabbing, horde hunting, chain fishing, Masuda method, but you know, it's still a shiny hunting method nonetheless. And then it made me want to go back to X and Y and do Friend Safari, try the Poke Radar, do all those things. I loved shiny hunting in Oras, and I put in a lot of hours into those games, getting shinies and doing all the work with no shiny charm, by the way. And I loved those games mostly because of the shiny hunting. The shiny hunting was so much fun in there. There's so many different things you can do. There's a reason people still go back to it. It's a shiny hunt alongside Ultra Sun and Moon. We'll get there in a second. I love Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Great remakes, solid remakes, and I can go back to them anytime. I love picking those games up. Now, Sun and Moon, Generation 7. Almost to the end here. Generation 7, a bit of controversy around Generation 7, let's be honest, because of, I think they were the most annoying enhanced version changes, because I swear, if Ultra Sun and Moon were Sun and Moon, it would be a different tier list here for these 4 games. But, well, there wouldn't even be 4 games, there would only be 2. But regardless, Sun and Moon, I would put... Oh, man, because I cannot replay these games. I've tried replaying Sun and Moon. It's very difficult. When you've played Ultra Sun and Moon, you've experienced Ultra Sun and Moon. It's just, you don't want to go back. It's just not fun, not nearly as fun, and replayability is not great with these games. Initial experience was solid, was fun, but like I said, once you've played Ultra Sun and Moon, there's like no reason to go back to Sun and Moon. And that's why these games, though, for me, are an S. I love Ultra Sun and Moon. I really enjoy Ultra Sun and Moon. I could play them any day of the week. I've replayed them multiple times. Well, specifically Ultra Moon, I've replayed multiple times. Or which one do I have? I think I have Ultra Moon on my 3DS multiple times. I replayed it multiple times. I love those games. I think Gen 7 is underrated. I feel like Ultra Sun and Moon left a bad taste in people's mouth because of, you know, it was really like the worst enhanced versions because of how much it improved, and it was annoying that just wasn't there the first time around. But Ultra Sun and Moon are so good. I love playing them all the time. Gen 7, underrated generation. I love Ultra Sun and Moon. And I can go back and play them any day. Definitely up there in the S tier with these other games. I love those games. Now, moving on to the first Switch games on... First Pokemon games on the Switch. Many people don't consider them main series. I just say they're a branch series. They're just, it's main series, branch, not necessarily side. Coexists with the main series, so kind of main series, I guess. Pokemon, Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. Yeah, that sounds weird. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That sounds better. You know what? They get the job done, and they do it well. I had fun when I played these games first time around. Replayability's not really there, but I had a lot of fun when I played these games the first time around. It was a nice breath of fresh air. Was it a little annoying that they were the main series game of the year? A little bit. But they were fun. Like I said, a breath of fresh air. They were really awesome to play. I kind of wish they would continue this branch series. I know they said they wouldn't, but I kind of hope they do because it's nice. It's a change of pace. It's slower. It's easy. It's fun. It's just fun. It focuses more on the fun aspect. It was a little annoying that they took away the battling in the wild, in the grass and stuff, but regardless, I still had fun when I played them. And for me, I would put them above X, and I would put them... I wouldn't put them above Black and White. I'll put them above X and Y though. I think they were fun. They did the job and they were like nice, cute little games, nice change of pace. And I enjoyed my time with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, to the the most controversial games on this list. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Wow. Obviously, a lot of controversy around these games. A lot of opinions on this game. I feel like everyone has an opinion on this game. These games. And you know what? I had fun. I had fun when I played these games. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm gonna put them in B. I'd rather play them over HeartGold, SoulSilver. Come at me. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. You're probably gonna say I should be, but I'm not. I loved playing through those games. So much so that I bought Shield. I played Sword, enjoyed it so much, I got Shield. Not ashamed to say it. I got both versions because I enjoyed these games. Would I rather play them over the games that are above them, like an A and S? Maybe not. But I would say I had a really fun experience with them, and replayability is there. The experience is there. Yes, there are certain things that are left to be desired. I won't deny that. Yes, I think the next Switch games need to definitely improve on them. But for what they are, I had fun and I enjoyed the experience. So for me, they are a solid B. Maybe switching with HeartGold, SoulSilver. I would teeter them back and forth. But yeah, I despite everything that's around them, I don't care. I enjoyed my time with these games. I had a fun experience playing it through it twice, and I loved them. I really do love them. I still play them to this day. Shiny Hunting. Shiny Hunting does leave a little bit to be desired, but nonetheless, fun games overall. But yeah, that's my tier list. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just an opinion, my opinion. you can go ahead and tweet at me at HermitLonely_. Tweet me your tier lists. I'm curious to see so I can judge your tier list. So I'm not the only one getting judged here, okay? But yeah, please. I'm very curious to see your guys' tier list. So send them to me at HermitLonely_ on Twitter. And while you're at it, go follow my Instagram at HermitLonely_ as well. Please check out both the socials. They are in the description. Please share socials with your friends, family, everybody know. Let the people know Lonely Hermit's where it's at. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.